Hi, how you doing? Tom Ciangelo with you, and we're going to be playing some hits for you on the radio here tonight. But besides that, we have some Supremes, and we have some Midnight Oil coming up in just a little while. But in the meantime, we're going to be bringing you a program called Behind the Scenes. So sit back, relax, and watch this fantastic program. It's called Behind the Scenes. Stay tuned.
To be a human on the planet.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm Marilyn Ellie, and I have with me tonight in the studio 3 people who are really making a difference in our own local community. People who are granting wishes of a very special sort. I have Steve and Ann Blake, founders of Make-A-Wish, and Steve Waldman, who is also very much involved in the Make-A-Wish Foundation. How did Make-A-Wish come to be? Tell us a little bit about it, Steve.
Sure. Thanks, Mel. First of all, it's a foundation that's dedicated to fulfilling the special wishes of children that are under 18 that are suffering from life-threatening illnesses. We get permission from 3 criteria: permission from the parents to do the wish, a certification from the doctor about the child's illness and disease, and then after a personal interview, we're able to go out and make a dream come true for children who may have few tomorrows.
Oh, what a wonderful thing to do. So how, you're saying that social workers refer and doctors and families refer people to you, so you must be dealing with children who are gravely ill at one point in their life.
They are indeed. The children are seriously ill. And maybe you'll discuss some of that later on, the severity of the illness, but to answer your real question was, how did it start?
Yes.
It started in Phoenix, Arizona in 1980. A U.S. Customs officer named Tommy Austin found out about a little boy who was his neighbor named Chris, and Chris was dying of leukemia. But Chris wanted to be a police officer, and Tommy knew that Chris would never live long enough to have that dream come true. And so he got together with his friends who were Arizona State Troopers, and they decided they would make Chris an honorary Arizona State Trooper. So they got a uniform made for him. They got him the hat that goes along with it, the Smokey Bear hat, the glasses that the policemen all wear when they stop you to give you a ticket. And they got a 3-wheeler for him. And they got a ticket book and a leather outfit with the boots and everything. And he would walk up and down the streets of Arizona giving his friends and neighbors tickets for walking on the sidewalk.
Oh.
And when they would question him and say, "Can you really give us a ticket for this?" he'd point to his real Arizona State Trooper's badge and say, "Yeah, because I'm a real Arizona State Trooper."
And he really was a real Arizona State Trooper.
He really was. And when Chris died, he was given a real Arizona State Trooper's funeral, complete with a motorcycle escort. And his mom decided that his tombstone would simply say, Christopher Gracious, 1980 to 1972 to 1980, Christopher Gracious, Arizona State Trooper. And when they were at the funeral site, Tommy and his family and friends gathered around, and they realized that there had to be hundreds upon hundreds of other kids who had life-threatening illnesses who wouldn't have time to make their dreams come true. And that's how the concept began for Make-A-Wish.
What a wonderful story that is. People who really cared about someone, a child in their community, and made a difference, and the idea has spread all the way to New York now. How did the 2 of you become involved, and how long has Make-A-Wish been in the Hudson Valley area?
Well, we did our first wish in December of 1985, and we did that under the auspices of the Metro New York chapter because we were not yet chartered by the national organization.
Well, where does you founded the Westchester, it's not just the Westchester chapter. What's the official name of your chapter here locally? What's it called?
It's Make-A-Wish Foundation of the Hudson Valley.
Of the Hudson Valley.
And we cover a large area, about from the city line up to Albany.
Oh, that is a large area.
There are 8 counties that we cover.
Have you had children in the Peekskill area?
Yes, we've had several from this area.
Peekskill and Yorktown, and where else just around in here have you?
Oh, Croton, Chappaqua, Mount Kisco,
Beacon, Newburgh.
Poughkeepsie, Wappingers.
So you really have been very busy.
We have been very busy.
So once children come to you, then you really are, you're chairman of Wish Development. I think that's what
Wish
you...
Development at this point. I was in charge of wish granting, which meant that all the wishes kind of filtered through my committee. And what happens when a wish is sent to us? We call the family, we speak to the family, and then we make an appointment, and we go, and a wish team, we always work in teams, goes and interviews the child, because we want to be very sure that the wish is the child's wish.
And not someone else in the family.
And not someone else in the family's wish. And sometimes the children really surprise us. I've gone on interviews where the parents said, oh, I'm sure he wants to go to Disney World, which is our most common wish. And we got there, and what the youngster said he wanted was a big screen TV, a Sega Master System, and all the tapes. And his mother said, don't you want to go to Florida? And he said, no, if I go to Florida, that's over in a week.
Now that was a wise child.
Wise child.
Well, you're an incorporated organization, I understand.
Sure.
And you're all three volunteers?
We are all volunteers. We have no paid staff.
No paid staff. How did you come to find out about Make-A-Wish? How did you get involved, Steve?
Actually, I got involved just about a year ago. We have an event which is called Bagel Day, and what we do is we give out bagels and we hand out our newsletters throughout. Well, now it goes from Brewster, on the Brewster, all the way down to White Plains. And I had moved up to the area, to Katona, and I picked up a newsletter, and ever since then I've been spending my life, out of my free time, working for Make-A-Wish.
So you have a regular job and you have a
yeah.
regular life, and this is just something
This
that
is
you
what I do on my other part of the day, right?
As a volunteer.
Yes, all of the people from Make-A-Wish are volunteers, and 85 cents to 90 cents out of every dollar collected goes towards the granting of wishes, which is a phenomenal rate.
That's a phenomenal rate.
We're very proud of that.
We're very proud of it.
Yeah.
We're very proud of it.
What's your annual budget?
Well, we look to do something around 60, 50 wishes this year, each one running about $3,000 per wish.
You really are very dedicated people then to...
We all spend, there's about a 25-member board, and we spend an awful lot of time, effort, and energy making sure that the wishes of the children get fulfilled, which is what we're about.
Well, if someone wants to volunteer or something, if they've heard about Make-A-Wish and they'd like to do something for children in their community, perhaps they got bagels like you
Right,
did.
that's one way.
What was your step? You got your bagel.
I got my
Talk
bagel.
about that. Some people may not know about that.
I got my bagel. I had gotten my newsletter.
Now, where did you get this bagel?
I got my bagel at the Katona station just about a year ago.
Okay.
And I then, in fact, my wife and I were looking for a charity that we could get involved in. We had been with others and sort of felt our money was easy to give money. We wanted to give our time. So we attended the next board meeting, which was held in July, and our board meetings are now held the first Thursday of every month. But we attended the July board meeting last year.
And these are just open meetings?
These are open meetings to the public, and we just came
Where
and
do
we
you
sat.
meet? Where do you meet?
Normally we meet at the Fox Lane High School.
Oh, that's
the
close
first
by.
Thursday, but the next two are going to be out because the school is closed at the temple in Betora in Mount Kisco. Thank you.
Okay.
And we went to the first meeting, and that was it. The rest is history. We just started getting involved. We did some wishes, and it got on. My wife is on the wish granting committee now. I'm in charge of fundraising, and those are the two critical parts. I mean, if we get the wishes in, we have to raise the money, and we just kind of plowed and plowed and plowed. We just kept attending meetings, and you go to presentations, whether you want to be on wish granting, whether you want to be involved with fundraising, whatever area you feel you might be comfortable with, you go towards that area, and you find your place.
We have people who are, feel they can't work with the children, but who do secretarial work, who paste labels, who fold newsletters so they can be mailed, and do all kinds of things like that. They do nothing but that, and they do it quietly in the background.
Support people. No
Very important to
organization can survive without that. Do you have a special headquarters?
Yeah, we do. We're at 37 South Mosier Avenue. It's pronounced Mosier, but it's really M-O-G-E-R, 37 South Mosier Avenue in Mount Kisco, New York. And if anybody would like to know anything about Make-A-Wish, they can call the Wish line, which is 666-WISH. It's real simple. 666 wish.
Ah, 666 wish.
That's it.
A very easy number to remember.
And we invite people to come to the board meetings. We invite people to call, to volunteer, to find out if they're comfortable. It's the heartblood of our organization is volunteerism, since nobody is paid, although we all feel very rich and rewarded for what we do, but nobody is paid. There's no monetary reward. And we welcome everybody.
Who does your newsletter? I saw a copy of it, and I was very impressed with the articles and things like that. How does that happen?
And you probably could answer that the best.
It happens through a lot of organization. A lot of the organization comes from Danny Lieberman, who is our president right now. And we have had Helen Fay, who has been helping with the editing and working on the articles. A lot of the articles come from our Wish volunteers. We ask them to write an article about the wishes that they do, because that's what people are interested in. And one of the reasons for our newsletter is to inform, and the other reason is to encourage people to make donations. And hearing about the children is the kind of thing that makes people want to support Make-A-Wish.
Oh, absolutely. Could tell us about one of the children that you've been involved with. I know that you've been involved with a lot.
I've been very fortunate because I have been involved with a lot because I was involved with training the volunteers. So I got to go on a lot of Wish interviews where I wasn't actually doing the Wish. The children are wonderful. They are the bravest, the most cheerful. They're going through awful things, and they are terrific. They are just great. I can think of a wish that Steve and I did, and this was one we did, and we drove a long way for it. It was 3.5 hours one way because we do cover a large territory, and this was a child in a family of 8 children. And his wish was to go to Disney World, which is our most common wish. And so the whole family went. So we sent 9 people to Disney World. And
9 people.
9 people.
That was a real tour to plan.
Yes. And they live in a very small town, and the whole family had never gone anywhere together before because you can't fit this many people in a car.
So what did you do?
We got a van. We got a van.
Okay.
And we usually try and use limos because the kids love it. I mean, that could be the whole wish for them. But we couldn't get a limo big enough for this family, so we did use a van. And when they got to the airport, one of the greatest things, it was such fun. We were at Newark Airport, and to get to the gates, you have to go down an escalator. And one of the boys looked and he said, "That's an escalator." And these children had never been on an escalator.
Where were they from?
They were
Sullivan
from upstate
County,
New York.
Upstate New York.
and they didn't have a mall large enough to have an escalator there,
In their
which
area.
is astounding.
And
We were surprised.
they were so excited. And when they came back, because we take them and we meet them when they come back, all that this little boy's mother could say, she kept saying, "Look at him, doesn't he look wonderful? He's got a tan." That does it. That's all you need.
That you must feel very rich indeed to be
Very rich.
working with
Very
and having
rich.
so many experiences like this.
That's really what it's all about. It's the
It's-
children and their reactions, and they're fun.
You mentioned a child, Melanie.
Yeah, I had recently done a wish for a child named Melanie. Not a child, she's a young lady, 16 years old, just turned 17 years old. And her wish was to meet John Bon Jovi.
Ah.
And celebrity wishes could be a bit difficult because there are a lot of pressures on them. And luckily, it was around her 16th, 17th birthday. And she was suffering from kidney dysfunction. She was a candidate for a kidney transplant. Got the tickets for her, called up Polygram, called up, everybody was very nice, got it all organized. Left enough time to go. We got the limo, got down to the Nassau Coliseum, but we got down there too late, so she missed her opportunity to meet John Bon Jovi. So luckily, he was playing the following Wednesday again in the Meadowlands. So I did nothing from Saturday to Wednesday to make sure that this wish came off. I mean, it was like 72 hours, and I left at 1 o'clock to get there, and we finally got the wish done. And she was like thrilled, and she met Bon Jovi, and we went to the concert. We had seats right on top of the stage, basically, and it was wonderful. And the best part of the story is that I got a call about 2 or 3 weeks ago now that she's had her kidney transplant, she's fine, she's back in school, and everything's wonderful.
That you couldn't have a happier
Oh,
story.
it's fabulous
That's
when it comes.
exactly what everyone must wish for in Make-A-Wish.
Yes, yes, we
Okay.
do.
One of the things we say, Marilyn, is the doctors do the medicine. and we do the magic. And with a little
Right.
luck, we make miracles.
Miracles are so important. We'll be right back. Stay tuned for more behind the scenes in just 1 minute.
Make a memory, make a friend, make a fantasy come true in the end. Make a dream to be remembered more than anything could say. Make a child without tomorrows laugh today. Make a difference, make a smile, make a rainbow full of dreams for a child. Make a moment last forever. It's a gift of love from you. When you help make a wish come true.
Welcome back to Behind the Scenes. We have here 3 very special people who are involved in the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I know you really have, you're a storyteller, and you have some good stories to tell. Tell us a story about some of the wishes that you've granted, perhaps one child that really sticks in your mind.
Well, we don't always get our miracles. And recently, one of our wish children died. But we had such fun with this wish. And it was all planned and ready to go. And then the doctor said that Greg would have to go back into the hospital. And that gave us about 8 days, and our package is about 5 days, to get him to Disney World, which is what he wanted, and home in time to go to the hospital. So we went into high gear.
Oh.
Delta Airlines is wonderful to us, and we called there, and they were able to switch the airline reservations. It came at kind of Easter break time, so it was not easy. And we were able to get the reservations changed in Florida through an organization that helps us down there, and everything got moved up. And because of that, one of the members of the Wish team was not able to go to the airport, so I got to go. And that was my first meeting with the family, and they were wonderful. They were just lovely, and we had time at the airport, and we sat and talked, and I was talking to Greg and his little sister and who were their favorite characters. And they turned around and asked me who my favorite character was, and I said my favorite was Eeyore. And when they came back, I got a little china Eeyore from Greg.
Oh, he brought you a memento.
He brought me a memento. Today, I saw a letter from Greg's dad. He had sent some clippings from articles that were in the paper about Greg. And with the clippings, he sent a letter. His letter said that he just wanted us all to know that Make-A-Wish had given Greg a wonderful trip and had given the family memories that they would cherish forever.
Oh, what a rewarding thing to be doing and to be involved in.
It is very special. It's certainly the best thing I've ever done.
Steve, do you have a special story that you'd like to share about children?
Oh, I love all the stories about the wishes. They're gratifying to do. We all feel privileged to be just allowed into the family unit during those traumatic times that are going on. So we're grateful for that, and we thank the Wish families for the bridge of confidence that we build between us when they let us in. But I wanted to mention something else. I'll answer your
Certainly.
question. I wanted to mention
No, please
on
do.
2 occasions we mentioned that we went down to the airport. We never go beyond that. We never go on a wish with a child unless it's a celebrity wish and the celebrity says we want somebody from the organization with us. That happens. Because we want it to be carefree and we want it to be a family vacation if it is a vacation wish. If it's a wish for a computer or something like that, no problem. We'll deliver the computer.
Well, the families must be undergoing a lot of stress. I mean, very difficult
Dramatic
situation
amounts of
when children are
stress.
ill.
It is. I don't think there can be anything more difficult than facing a child's, your own child's illness as serious as the illnesses are that we deal with.
Certainly.
The first wish I ever worked on sticks out clearly in my mind. It was a 15-year-old girl who had cystic fibrosis. She had heard that the the disease doesn't always kill you, but the malnutrition that follows because you can't eat can kill you. And she decided to have a tube put down her nose so that she'd be able to eat. And that's how she was being fed. She was 15. She was a beautiful girl from the pictures that I saw, but she was ravaged by the disease by the time I got to see her. And she was too weak and maybe too vain to go outside also. So her wish was real simple. She wanted to have a VCR and films so she could watch all the movies that she missed while she was so sick in the hospital. And we got the wish completed in a couple of days. I called a client of mine who had a studio that sold VCRs and electrical equipment, and her name was Ginny. I said, Ginny, do you know about Make-A-Wish? And she said, not really, so we gave her a crash course. And she said,
Better to do that.
Exactly. And she said, we have 3 VCRs in stock. This was 3 days before Christmas in '85. And I thought she was going to say, could we wait until after Christmas? Because it was a small business. But she surprised me, and she said, and the best one is, and she gave me the name, and it had a remote control. And she said, and so Nancy won't have to get out of bed to change things and start things. And I said, that's wonderful. And I said, we're a new organization. We don't have any money, which we didn't. But charge us whatever you want to charge us and let us know, and we'll pay you. That's it. And she said, I'll let you have it for $50. And I thought she was going to say $50 above cost. And she said $50 below cost. So I thanked her. She thanked me, and I thanked her, and she thanked me. And I said, Ginny, you got to, what's going on? Tell me, why are you thanking me? And she said, I want to thank you for allowing me to share in the wish. And that was touching for me. It just repeats itself, though, over and over again. People are grateful for being involved in Make-A-Wish, and that's how we all feel.
It really touches your heart very deeply, and the circle just expands as you talk. I can just see a concerned community really caring. And
we got a letter, which I can kind of remember what it says. In April, it said, to Make-A-Wish. It thanked us for getting her the VCR before Christmas, and that they watched all night. They rented 5 films, and they stood up all night. The first night they had it set up, watching all the movies that Nancy had missed. She went back into the hospital on February 2nd, and she died on February 28th. And that's something I have, that we all have in our archives. And when that happens, because not every wish is a happy ending, but when that happens and we get called and thanked very often before anybody else in the family is called. On 3 occasions that I can think of right now, we got phone calls prior to the other family people being notified, and I couldn't believe it the first time that happened.
But you just touched a family so deeply.
Yeah.
Just so very deeply.
But we do have happy endings, too.
Oh, yes.
I have a great story for you.
Yes, please.
There's a 17-year-old...
Thank you for sharing that. That's a very moving story.
Jimmy, he lives up in the Newburgh area. My wife and I worked on the wish, and his wish was to receive gym equipment because the cancer was starting to deteriorate his body. And I contacted a lot of various different companies, and I found Weider Health and Fitness. They own some publications, a bodybuilding magazine, and they own the equipment section out in California. And they very generously donated the equipment. And they actually arranged for it to be driven up to Jimmy's home. And they arranged to have, out of their publications, they have Richard Gaspari, who's a world-class bodybuilder, come to demonstrate for Jimmy how to use the equipment. Right? And then we got another local cable company to come film his getting this, all of which was a surprise to him. And the day that we were there, the father was building the room that was going to house this equipment, and it just went up. The whole neighborhood turned out. I mean, there must have been like 200 people to help witness Jimmy get this equipment, and he was surprised and went, well, to go back, to follow through on what happened, Jimmy was at one of our fundraising events, a jazz and a raffle for a car and a jazz thing that went along with it. Jimmy pulled out the raffle, and he had everybody in tears. He just had everybody going. And now he's now working with other children with cancer, and he's doing volunteer work to help them along in there, give them some support.
Well,
which is
so
incredible. He was touched, apparently, obviously, and he's doing a great job, I hear. And I hear this through Weeder and Company, who still sends birthday presents back and forth to the family, and it's just incredible.
What a lovely story. Again, the circle expands.
The ripples go.
They certainly do, and you never know when or where they'll stop. If someone in our own local community wants to be part of Make-A-Wish or wants to contribute in some way, what should they do?
666-WISH.
Just to call
Just
that
a
number.
call.
Sure.
We'll take their names and numbers. The volunteer chairperson will call them and send them out a volunteer form and arrange for them to see a presentation, everything that they need to learn about Make-A-Wish, to see where they would like to fit in.
You grant a lot of wishes. Now, are all of is all of your budget from donations of people who call in and do this?
We raise the money through donations. We raise the most money from fundraising events that are sponsored by the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Do you have annual fundraising events that people could participate in
We have
if they
several,
wanted?
yes, we do. We have one, the Bagel Day, which is how I had come to,
right,
right?
okay.
That was just now. We have a swim-along, which will be coming up in July. We have a dinner dance, which is a big annual. This is going to be held at Bloomingdale's this year in White Plains, right? And all through the year, we have various
And
events.
the Celebrity Bowl.
We have the Celebrity Bowl, which was in
great
April.
Fun.
Oh, that must be.
lot.
What
And we
happens
invite
there?
the children.
Oh.
We get celebrities, sports figures, soap stars, and people like that, and they come up and they bowl, and people can buy tickets to bowl with them. We invite some of our Wish children, who usually have a wonderful time there. It's just a fun day, and we do it every spring. And
So you really are keeping quite a large organization going on to support the wishes
There's
and
an
the
incredible
real heart
amount.
of the organization, of what you're doing, of your work.
There's an incredible amount of people and effort and energy that goes into this. You can imagine 60 families and organizing the cars and the plane tickets and just the organization of the stamps, the mailing, doing the letters. It's incredible what goes on both behind the scenes, above the scenes, around the families. It's an enormous undertaking.
Well, if you have one major wish for Make-A-Wish, what is it you really need? Do you need people? Do you need money? Do you need what is it that the foundation could
Well,
use
why
the
don't each
most?
three of us answer that separately?
Our major wish is that we could be out of business. That's our major
Absolutely,
wish.
absolutely.
But as long as there are children who may have few tomorrows, we'll be around. So one of the things that I'd like to say is that we accept donations in kind, which means services.
Oh.
If somebody has a limo, since all of our wishes are going to be, transportation is done by limo, if somebody owns a limo or has a connection with a limo company, we're delighted to get back and forth to an airport or to visit a celebrity or whatever.
Certainly.
We sure love donations like that, and donations in kind are very welcome. You can go. You think there's something that you have?
well, my particular little thing right now is what we call wish development. We do not solicit wishes. We can't go into a hospital and talk to the children. That's forbidden by our national charter. So the wishes have to come to us. But we can let doctors and hospitals and social workers know about Make-A-Wish so that they can send wishes to us. And my thing right now is trying to reach a lot of the people in our area who don't know about us yet, so that every child who has a life-threatening illness can have a wish, and they can't unless they know about us. So spread the word.
Say that, start with the area code and say that number one more time that people
All right,
can call.
it's 914-666-WISH.
That's very easy. We'll have that later in the show, too, for people who are interested. You'll see it on the graphics at the end. Do you have one last thing you'd like to say, Steve?
Clearly. Well, the wish that I would have,
Yes.
if wishes could be granted by me, would be so that we would have enough corporations, people involved, annuity policies going on, so that no wish would ever get turned down across the country and throughout the world.
Oh, that all the wishes could be
That
fulfilled.
we could never turn down anybody for whatever the wish would be, so long as it's within our criteria. It would be
Excellent.
fabulous.
That's a wonderful wish. And I hope that there are people involved in our own community or people in our own community who would like to get involved that could really help bring all three of these wishes to come to be and just make them true. If you would like to become involved and make a wish, please stay tuned. The graphic will show you how you can do that. We'll say that very simple number again. And I would really so much like to thank Steve
great
and
to be
Ann
here.
for being here. And
Thank
Steve,
you
thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you for
I
having
really
us.
admire the work that you're doing, and keep up the good work. And just really, I guess the word is to keep on keeping on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us, and I hope that you'll stay tuned and come back for another show of Behind the Scenes.
To be a human on the planet Earth, but to be remaining alive for all that it's worth. To be a human on the planet Earth, but to be remaining alive.